Hello and welcome back to another certified OG shifting video. We are here today on a big mission to test something that I always wanted to test for a very long time. And I think you guys are gonna appreciate this video because today we are driving this absolute beautiful masterpiece of German engineering. This was once the pinnacle of Mercedes and the pinnacle of AMG, and we have to say, sadly, this was also the dying breath of AMG. After this, things were never the same, and we didn't realize it back then when they first brought it out, but this would be the last true car Mercedes and AMG gave to us, true petrol heads. This is the last true AMG. And we're gonna see today if this car truly is as good as everybody says, because honestly, I've never driven one of those, and I have to say I'm quite excited for it. This is going to be quite interesting, especially since I am a big BMW guy. I'm gonna have to see how it performs compared to all of my BMW models. Looks-wise, I have to say, this car is an absolute masterpiece. It looks so brutal, yet so stylish at the same time. You have all those nice sleek body lines. The car just looks very massive from the front, but at the same time, it gives you a feeling of luxury and comfort, which is truly what AMG and Mercedes is all about. You have these huge fenders in the front, which, like I said, makes the car look so incredibly beefy, but also in the back, the car is just way wider than a normal C-Class, which is, in my mind, this is how an AMG should be. It should be wider, it should be having a more aggressive stance than the normal C-Class, which unfortunately they didn't really carry through with the new C63. Obviously this car is lowered and on year performance wheels, I have to say, ohne Scheiß.
Das ist echt nicht schlecht.
Auto ist echt wunderschön. We have painted brake calipers. Obviously this is also not stock, but apart from that, the car is pretty much stock. We have a few carbon parts here and there, but you know, it's standard material.
Yeah.
The rear styling of the car is also very similar to the front. This car just screams at your face. You know it's an AMG. Once you look at it, it's just, also ohne Scheiß, probably one of my favorite AMGs, looks-wise, that they've ever created. You have the typical AMG exhaust tips. I've always been a big fan of the styling. They look so good. I wish BMWs came with these as well, but unfortunately they don't. We have this nice little Edition 1 ducktail, which they have here on the back. Apart from that, like I said, from the front, the car is pretty much stock. Inside on the car, absolute luxury. This is what Mercedes really does best. Me as a BMW guy, I have to give a quick shout out to Mercedes for this, because interior BMWs, they never stand a chance. Interior on an AMG is just always pure quality, pure luxury and pure comfort, but at the same time it's very sporty. You have these bucket seats, they look absolutely beautiful. The little details here, AMG stitched in there, so you know you're driving an AMG, even if you're looking at the seats. Brand new steering wheel. I hate used steering wheels. I hate how they look. So seeing a brand new steering wheel in this car makes me happy. This also looks very much new. I have no idea how he kept it this new. By the way, this guy is sitting over there. I feel like we're being spied by some Russian spies or Turkish spies. Yeah. Honestly, the car is just perfect, I think. We're gonna give you a quick, we're gonna show you the interior more when we're driving it, but just from like a first glimpse of it, just looks perfect. It's not too much, it's just the way how it's supposed to be. You don't have an overuse of displays and everything, it's just right. But most importantly, in here we have what truly makes the AMG, which is V8 twin turbo. I don't think there's a more iconic engine AMG has ever created than...
Muss zweimal jetzt innen ziehen.
Guter Zeitpunkt, um den Inhaber dieses wunderschönen Kfz vorzustellen.
Hello, that's my car, my AMG.
Thank you for your help.
No problem.
Here we have the beautiful 5,5 Liter, ne?
No, 4 liters.
Genau, das wollte ich sagen. 4 Liter V8 twin turbo. It has around 500 horsepower.
476.
Genau, das wollte ich nämlich auch sagen. 476 horsepower, but it has a lot of Newton meters because it has...
I don't know.
A V8 Turbo.
Newton, Drehmoment, wie viel Drehmoment hat der?
Oh, weiß ich gar nicht.
Scheiße.
I don't know.
Sau viel halt.
So viel Drehmoment hat der. That's how much Newton meters it has. Insane. So this is what these cars really can do really well, because they are very brutal, I think. We're gonna see later when we drive them, but they have so much torque, and I think that's gonna be a lot of fun today. This engine was handcrafted by Kevin, by the way. So shout out to Kevin.
Dankeschön, Kev.
Guter Fan.
Kevin, guter Mann.
Guter Mann. Kevin, I hope you built some good engines, because today we're gonna test it out. Kevin also, no, not Kevin, you fitted the engine with aftermarket blow-offs, so you have a little Sauna-Aufgussgeräusche with.
Wo sind denn die?
It's right here from
weißt du? Der oben.
Yeah.
I have to say the engine looks really nice. I just wish they still built them like this. We're gonna find out just how good these cars actually used to be. Ich muss sagen, als BMW-Typ bin ich ein bisschen neidisch, dass das bei mir nicht so schön aussieht.
Damals, da waren wir noch stolz drauf, ne? V8.
Ja, die Zeiten sind vorbei. VW ist auch scheiße.
Das sind halt noch Autos.
Bist du im Spar Plus gewesen?
Ja, natürlich. So,
Ah, geh leck mir Arsch.
the next LKW kommt. Probieren wir das Auto aus. Alright, so, inside of the car, driving impressions while cruising. I have to say, we drove this car for like 30 minutes now. Absolutely fantastic. It's just very chill. Mani, we've been just talking, cruising along, enjoying the view, enjoying the car. Very pleasant to sit. The seats feel nice. They do have quite a lot of lateral grip, but they are not hard or anything. They just feel quite right. Steering wheel is absolutely fantastic. Ride quality is very good. This car is lowered on springs, so it still has the original shocks inside. It doesn't feel too hard or anything. It's just very comfortable cruising. So this car, I think, can definitely be a very good daily driver. Obviously, you have the small display here, small for today's standards. Back then, I think it was probably a very huge display. Just a classic AMG. Touchscreen is in the corner, perfect. Everything that you need to know about the vehicle. Dynamic select, where you can obviously take your drive modes. Das ist ja gestellt mit dem Fahrwerk schon, ja.
Ja, das ist geil.
Lenkwinkel. Very interesting. I mean, there's not much to say about the inside. It is very beautifully designed. You have some leather over here. It just feels like a high-end luxury car inside. And that's, like I already said, what it's all about. Beautiful finish to all the buttons. Nothing feels cheap, nothing feels like plastic. It's just very, very good quality interior. Never been a fan of this, like touchscreen thingy here.
Das ist auch cool.
Sure?
Ja, nicht so schlecht.
Ich weiß nicht, ich hab das irgendwie nicht so geil gefunden. But yeah, dynamic select mode is here as well, where we have Sport, Sport Plus, then we have Comfort, which we've been cruising in along, and Individual for all those guys, die halt extra Sprachen. Seat, yeah, very nice. Heated seats. I think you had the option to choose ventilated seats as well. Obviously, Burmester sound system. We didn't listen to any music, but I can guarantee you it's probably a pretty good sound system. In the back, I would probably not really recommend taking somebody along for a very long drive, but if you're planning on having a lot of friends in your car, you probably would choose the 4-door version anyways. So the Limousine. Wunderschöne Dach hier mit rum.
Ja, das ist geil.
All in all, I don't think that there's anything negative you can say about the interior quality of the car or about the comfortable ride mode of the car itself. The only thing that I am a bit against are these huge wheels. They look good, but for driving wise, they're not really the best. They're a bit on the harder side. You do feel that you need more rubber on the tire to have a better driver feeling. Das ist einfach das Problem mit den riesigen Radeln. And we're gonna see when we test scale. Yeah, looks wise, it's absolutely fantastic, don't get me wrong, but you're gonna see it once we push the car, it's gonna be not as good as stock. From my experience, huge wheels with small tires always give you a disadvantage over stock tires, stock tire fitments or like meaty tire fitments. I'm a huge fan of meaty tire fitments, by the way, if you didn't figure it out already. Anyway, was gibt's sonst noch zu sagen? Eigentlich haben wir da alles Rituals, obviously this is not stock. I don't understand why people put these in. Ich finde das so cheap. I don't understand why people put these in cars. The smell itself is cool, but this ritual stuff looks so cheap. Nice little IWC watch, very cool if you're a watch guy, to be honest. Yeah, I don't really think that there's much to say about the inside of the car. Everything is very minimalistic, so there's not much to say, but it's not a bad thing. It's maybe a good thing, and maybe car manufacturers should go back to this setting because it was nice and it doesn't look old. This car is now 10 years old, but it doesn't look old because there is nothing to look old on this car. It's cool. I like it. Keep it up. Keep it like this.
Yeah.
So, daily drivability of this car, comfort level of this car, I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. Minus 2 points because of the huge wheels and there's no space in the back.
Wir sind ja nicht mehr Drift.
Ja, für Komfortlevel.
Ach so, Juliet.
Und zum Driften gehen wir jetzt. Also,
Okay.
los geht's.
Ja.
Alright, so the car is now in race mode. We have traction control turned off, which means we are ready. Okay.
Ganz komisch.
This car has, honestly,
Sau viel Grip.
Vollgas viel grip. I thought it's gonna be way more like sideways heavy than it is. Bro, this car is fast.
Yeah.
Pushes probably, this car is completely stock wise. I have to say, if you compare this to an F80 stock, way faster car. This here is way faster than the F80. Geht quer, also es passt.
Ja, ja.
Blow-off sound is really, really cool.
Die Bustür.
This car feels very good.
Ja.
So the whole like suspension setup and everything, I thought this car is gonna be like way more brutal, way less controllable than it is, but it feels very solid, very controllable. Alter, das Auto ist echt schnell. Bro, this is like a 10-year-old car and it's so incredibly quick from the factory already. Downshift and everything is really good. I always thought that nobody drives these cars because you don't see them so often here in Austria because they are so hard to drive over anything. But when I drive it like this,
Nice.
of course the F80 is a bit easier to control and maybe a bit more.
Alter.
Okay, it feels more brutal than the M3. It's a bit more brutal, it's a bit less precise, a bisschen weniger chirurgisch als der M3. Der M3 ist präzise und du kannst genau hinsetzen, wie es möchtest. This is a bit more, it's like you're punching someone in the face. This is what this car feels like, but in a good way. A good punch in the face.
Aber man merkt jetzt schon, dass weniger ist von den Reifen. Ah.
So, kurz, jetzt ist er im manuellen Modus eingegangen.
Aha.
Ah, nicht im manuellen Modus. Er will nicht im manuellen Modus eingehen, so ist. Oder?
Was?
Also, wir haben eventuell ein bisschen viel Wassertemperatur.
Ah! Also hast du die Sonnenbrille auf, was da den Rotfilter wegtut?
Ja.
Das ist am rechts also süßlich.
Das ist süßlich.
Und es raucht auch voll aus.
Mit Lahnhalten runter aus.
Es raucht von voll aus.
Er ist gerade ein bisschen heiß, ich muss kurz ein bisschen abkühlen.
Au! Deshalb stinkt es so.
Wasser. Oh shit. Alter.
Okay, so this is a bit new. The car overheated a little bit, so now all the coolant came out here.
I think it was my fault because I put too much Kool-Aid in it.
Okay, we're gonna let the car cool down really quick and then we're gonna fill up some new. Yeah, it's just good Flüssigkeit. Okay, so I really have to say, this is something new.
Mercedes issues.
I've tested quite many cars so far and we never had any mechanical issues. So far nothing has ever overheated or anything. But we also have to say today is pretty hot outside.
Yeah, of course.
So one thing we have to keep in favor for the new C63 AMG, it did not overheat when we tested it. So maybe they did something right with the newer models. I don't really think it's my fault because the car is supposed to, it's like 4 minutes of driving, but you know, it happens. Aber das erklärt jetzt auch, warum keiner auf der Nordschleife solche Autos fährt, weil ich mir schon gefragt, weil das Auto ja eigentlich richtig geil sich fährt.
Eigentlich müsste der sowas aushalten, ja?
Normalerweise schon. Okay, luckily we have a support vehicle. Mani is gonna go and grab some coolant for us. We're just gonna check the car really quick because we don't really know where the coolant is coming from. It might be the overflow, but we're gonna check all the hoses really quick because it's a bit... realistically this should not happen, so we have to check just to make sure what is going on. So no pressure on the...
Nee,
Ja. Wenigstens ist es schön. Ja, Natur genießen ein bisschen. Ja, eine halbe Stunde später.
Ja, immer wegen chillt an der Tankstelle.
Spinni. Ich dachte, ihr habt Kühlwasser gekauft, oder?
Es ist ja auch keine Werkstatt auf.
Gab ja nichts.
Ich hab eh Durst, gib mir gleich eine Flasche.
Warte, jetzt füllen wir mal den auf, weil der ist am durstigsten.
Okay, now
regnet.
we know where the coolant is coming from. Okay, so the issue is a bit more than what we expected. It didn't overheat, but this hose right here is leaking a lot of coolant, so we have to tow the vehicle. Also sind wir gleich wieder zurück mit dem Hänger. So the suspicion is, obviously that hose over there has a leak, but the bigger suspicion is because this already had a very small hole when you guys came here, but this hole got bigger and this is actually our main concern. So we have to remove all of this to check it out. Okay, so at least we found out where the leak is coming from. So these cars have actually quite many modern cars have the same issue, because as you can see here, this is basically the cooler and the plastic is just kind of like stuck onto there, welded onto there, and this place where the plastic meets the normal metal part, and every car that has it starts leaking, and this one was no excuse, no exception. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it is now 5 weeks later or even 6 weeks later. And look who's back. Servus, frischer Haarschnitt. Sehr schön, sehr schön. Yeah, and the car übrigens auch. Hallo, servus. Servus. And they didn't even bring only one AMG today. So the C63 is back and it's working again, oder? What was broken?
I dropped the screw into the cooler fan.
Ah.
And the cooler fan let the screw fly into my radiator.
Oh my god.
And then I had a big hole in my radiator.
Okay, also es war nicht mein Fehler. Aber yeah, good to have the car back. The guys are very determined. So huge shout out to Mr. Charmant. Here's his Instagram. You can give him a follow if you want to see more of the C63 and everything. And they didn't even bring only one AMG today because they thought maybe we need a spare one again. So they also brought a second one, which is incredibly beautiful. This beautiful S63 ist das, gell? S500. Ah, ohne Scheiß, der schaut so schön aus. I have to say, if you want a luxury vehicle, you probably want to get a Mercedes because these cars are absolutely amazing. At least the old ones. I love it with the chrome pieces and everything, and the inside is amazing. Aber ja, C63 Test, weiter geht's. Alright, believe it or not, but we're back in the C63, ready for round number 2. Today we actually had luck or no luck with the weather, depending on how you want to see it, because it's raining outside. For the car, I think it's good because it doesn't need so much power to go sideways. And I think for us it's also good, because last time we were actually surprised by how much grip the car had in the wet condition and the dry conditions. Maybe today it will be better. Let's find out.
Ja? Das hat mich aber jetzt auch gewundert.
Ich bin jetzt auf das Deckwerk.
Bisschen komisch, oder?
Ja, es ist halt.
Irgendwie schon geil.
Es ist geil, weil es klingt geil. Es fühlt sich irgendwie brutal an.
Ja?
It feels very brutal, very. But it's not so precise. I'm a bit. Was hat aufgeleuchtet? Was piepst da? Was war wieder?
Was?
Alles gut? Alles gut?
Da bitte
Jetzt
nicht.
schon wieder irgendwas ist. It's not bad. I just don't feel 100% comfortable with it because it's similar to the E63 that we tested recently. It feels very brutal. It doesn't feel so precise. I think a good comparison, if you compare it to the M3, this is very much, if you play Call of Duty, this is very much like a LMG, like a light machine gun. Like a heavy mounted, it has a lot of punch, but it's not very precise. It shoots everywhere, it can shoot forever, but it's just very imprecise. And the M3, for example, would be an assault rifle. You can shoot it very precisely, it's very reliable, it just works, you know?
Ja.
But not so brutal. And then every time the car catches, it throws you around a lot in the car. But we had the similar issue in the GTR. Remember when we tested my sister's car last? And I thought back then it was just because of the layout of the car.
Ja.
But it turns out maybe it's just an AMG illness. works really well, but I would prefer the M3. I have to say, I'm an M3 guy, and not only because I like BMW, but it's just nicer to drive. Honestly, this is cool for like cruising around and showing off, I guess, like driving through the city and everything. Everybody knows it's a V8, it sounds nice, it looks very sick. But if you want to drive sporty, I think the M3 honestly is just the way to go. Leider cool.
Hallo. Grüß euch.
Car is still in the same place, so it's not really impressed by the AMG, I guess. It's a good car, don't get me wrong. It's just, I don't know.
It always depends on the driver. You like the sporty drive-wise?
I think maybe also some other wheels would help, because these wheels are huge.
Yeah.
They look sick, just not really the best for handling. I'm so scared that the car is gonna blow up again. But so far temperature seems good. Oh, this is really, really nice. Ja, ist schon geiles Auto, auf jeden Fall. Also, bei VCG ist mit der Sonne ein bisschen.
Ja, das ist echt mega.
Car is fast. Feels faster than the M3, that's for sure. Way faster, the straight line and everything. Ja, aber scheiße.
Creepy.
Warum hat das Auto so viel Grip? Ich verstehe das nicht, Alter.
Keine Ahnung. Ganz komisch.
Den M3 kannst du durchziehen bei solchen Straßenkonditionen bis zum 10.
Ja. Und das da, das hat.
Dritten ist schon viel zu viel Grip. I never thought it would be like this. But it's not a bad car.
Yeah.
For sure.
Was sich das auffällt, wie ein Auto, das zu wenig Leistung hat. Weißt du, wie man so.
Im Trockenen war es aber nicht schlecht.
Ja.
It feels the same as we were in a dry. The car just, in second gear it slides, it comes loose. Once you shift into third gear, it's not sliding anymore. Fourth gear, you don't even need to try, which I don't understand because it has more power than the M3, so theoretically it should go even more sideways. But irgendwie mag ich nicht. I'm not disappointed. Maybe a little bit. Also, it geht quer.
Ja.
But then once the car catches, it just really, really unsettles the whole car. Aber so ist halt. The good thing about the car is it's insanely fast. If you compare it to the M3, it would absolutely smoke the M3. But then the M3 just has the handling and has the control, which is definitely missing here in the C63. Just not as nice to drive as the M3. Ah, jetzt geht's schon wieder.
Ja.
Boah. Zum Magas. Anyway, we're gonna go get some outside shots for you guys really quick and then we will continue. Was sagst jetzt du zum C63? Ich finde, ja eigentlich das. Hätte ich auch gesagt. Okay, so C63. Bro, the S500 looks so sick, by the way. Such a beautiful car. I think the C63 is a very beautiful and very good sounding car, and I really wish Mercedes would still build the cars like this. However, I do think that from a sheepman perspective, it is no match for the M3. I hate comparing cars to my M3 because I love my M3, but I just want to explain to you guys what I personally prefer about the M3 compared to the C63, and therefore I can say what the C63 is kind of missing. It's missing the precision and it's missing the handling, I would say. The car is very quick, no doubt about it. The engine and everything is great. It has a lot of traction, which I am actually very surprised about. Every time I shift into third gear, even in these conditions today, it's wet as you can see. The car catches every time in third gear, so you would really have to throw it a lot into the corners, and the car just doesn't really have the handling that it would be safe to do so. So it's just, you need to treat this car with respect, and once you do it, it's very rewarding to drive, but you can't really drive it the way you would drive a BMW. It's a good car, no questions, but it's just missing the little touch. And I think the car does need a software just to maybe get rid of like the traction issues. I think that would also help a little bit. But like we already said, the wheels also can make a difference. If you get bigger wheels than stock, for example, and smaller tires, it really takes away the handling of your car. But like I said, I like the car. I think it's a really great car. I just wouldn't trade it for my M3. Makes sense, I think. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Shout out again to the boys over there for coming here a second time, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But, it's just how it works. The car survived, which is great. I would say I would give the C63 a solid 7.5 out of 10 on the sheepman scale for like the overall package.
Yeah.
See me, I'm getting used to these hoes. In my clothes, not off in the mirror.